ANANTA just released like 2 trailers back-to-back from Tokyo Game Show, so I figured that since we've got just about enough to dive our feet into its lore, then right now should be the perfect moment. Now, right off the bat, this won't be an in-depth lore video since there's little to no lore and story that I've seen yet, and coupled with the fact that I didn't even get to play the game, while trying to make a lore video on this is just another problem for me. But for the sake of providing for you guys a different perspective compared to the usual gameplay and initial impressions, I'm going to wear my lore glasses and find what I can regarding the lore and story of this smorgasbord of a game and have a little bit of fun summarizing and theorizing into it while it's not out yet. And believe me, the general lore of the Chaos and Espers in Nova City is actually quite interesting. It's simple, but done in a very interesting way that works really well with why exactly this game looks and feels like so many games like GTA, Watch Dogs, Cyberpunk, Saints Row, Prototype, Jackie Chan, Spider-Man, you name it. Alright, everything. And I think this also fleshes out why exactly this game has the name connected to infinity. So, hey guys, what's up? Aru. And let's talk about ANANTA. So ANANTA is a free-to-play non-gacha anime live service RPG developed by Naked Rain alongside NetEase Montreal. Just say that it's developed by NetEase. Anyway, given that you're not going to be gachaing for characters, it's safe to say that it's basically an anime-style ARPG instead of an actual gacha game. But that's besides the point, and we actually don't know how they're going to be monetizing this apart from skins. Now, the game is set in the first city NIU, Nova Inception Urbs, or Nova City for short. In this city, urban legends become real and manifest within this world in the weirdest ways. In the words of ANANTA's official posts, you're about to enter a world where reality and anomalies coexist. Remember one rule: do not follow any rules. What? Including, but not limited to, this one. After all, here, every tomorrow and every possibility of the future is infinite. ANANTA means infinity, and the way they want this game to be is for infinite things to happen in infinite ways. At least that's the idea. But to my understanding, infinity is also a core concept to this game's story and lore. Bear in mind that this video is a culmination of multiple sources, from the first PV to their recent gameplay, to their official posts on their website, and other social media platforms as well. Now, you, the antagonist, are a type of psychic that can manipulate things around you with your mind, known as an Esper or an infinite trigger. You also have unique abilities tied to you, which are these prototype Alex Mercer Spider-Man looking powers, which seem to be more like claws than webs or blacklight sinews. As the protagonist of this story, you're the captain of an organization called the ACD, or the Anti-Chaos Directorate, a sort of police/investigation group dedicated to protecting the city from chaos only. Now, what is chaos, you may ask? Well, chaos is a mysterious force disrupting the world of ANANTA with surreal and unpredictable infinite ways of events that seem to stem from either the psyche or mind's imagination of people or some alien phenomenon that became part of the world. Currently, the chaos in Nova City is specific to that city only. So everything you see here is specific to this city only too. Everything else is not affected and nothing happens there. Chaos is only in this city, at least for now. But considering the game will be releasing new cities that are inspired from different countries or multiple countries, continents, in one single city every year, we'll likely see different variations of this chaos manifesting every year in different cities too. But that in itself is also a question. Why is there chaos in Nova City? Which is a question that we'll answer later. But this air quotes chaos is how urban legends and weird anomalies within Nova City appear. It's also how we can explain the craziness and randomness of it all. The main principle of ANANTA's chaos, I think, is that people's fantasies become reality, or at least that's what I could gather about it. The different myths and legends that the people in this city turn into chaos manifestations. From walking toilets and cars with chainsaws, to paintings of Mozart coming to life and King Kong appearing, to robotic giant mosquitoes and likely this huge lady. Definitely pulling for Dila, by the way. Now, it's honestly a hodgepodge of unpredictable table phenomena depending on how chaos is manifested, which is why we can just give it a simple and easily memorable name: chaos. And this chaotic and unpredictable force threatens the balance of Nova City for now. But that doesn't inherently mean that chaos is evil, since it seems to be randomly created depending on the anomaly and can also be set to different varying levels. Based on the limited information we have, the entire story for now revolves around investigating various chaos anomalies only, as it is the essence of our organization, the Anti-Chaos Directorate. And as of right now, chaos is present in Nova City specifically, which is why we're here to investigate, and why I think people don't even know what the ACD is. Other incidents like crime or possibly politics to some degree aren't what we're here for. But as we meet other characters from different factions and groups, we'll end up having to deal with many things within Nova City than just chaos anomalies. Now, even though it's not really worth speculating on story and lore of this game before it's even out, I do have some questions regarding the Espers and Chaos, as well as making sense of all the comical anomalies in this city that remind us of many other forms of media, games, and etc. First, we know that Espers are psychic. It's unclear for now how being an Esper and being able to wield these wacky powers are related with Chaos, but Espers and Chaos, as well as people affected by it, seem to have a sort of link with their minds and their imagination, hence the name Espers. This imaginative level is going to vary depending on if you are an Esper or maybe even someone that's just affected by chaos. Within the world of ANANTA, or at least anywhere chaos is the place where people's fantasies become real, and the sky is the limit when it comes to that fantasy. One example is the toilet guy, which I know this sounds crazy, and it is, but this guy here sitting on a toilet has been seen in 2 or 3 trailers already, I think, and he's just reading the newspaper while taking a dump. Now, I'm sure some of you watching this might ask, what if I can take a dump while on the go? So, with some luck and a huge amount of chaos energy, I guess, his toilet just starts walking, as well as other toilets around him. This, I think, is how ANANTA works within fantasies and people's imaginations. Now that we've explained one of the weirder examples of chaos, possibly, then the rest is much simpler to make sense of. King Kong appearing is just King Kong films becoming real. Mozart, or this guy from this painting, becoming a boss monster is likely someone's passion for music or art. Stoplights with eyes is probably someone who doesn't want to get caught by a red light. Cars with chainsaws, why not, I guess? Someone probably didn't want their car stolen. Graffiti coming to life, someone probably enjoys graffiti too much. A giant mosquito robot, I don't know why someone would want that, but I guess someone did. And of course, this lovely giant angry mommy lady stepping on the camera is just the amalgamation of every degenerate gamer on the internet made into reality. Thanks, ANANTA. Now, this is the essence of ANANTA's world, and is, I think, where they got the name too. ANANTA means infinite, and there are possibly infinite ways to create these anomalies. Something else about Chaos and Espers is that I think the different characters' powers and abilities are based on their own imaginations made into real life by Chaos. You've got someone with a yo-yo pulling off the wildest tricks on his enemies, a bunny girl whose bunny bike runs over people, and let's not forget this guy who might just be a fan of a certain spider series or prototype, which if you think about it, there might just be a arachnid type hero comic within this game's universe. But then again, the Captain MC's web is more like a grappling hook with hands than anything else, and it's solely unique to him, so everything else and everyone else doesn't do this. I mean, one of the trailers already had Super Dad, which is just this guy, so we can expect variations of powers related to probably comics because, well, who doesn't want powers, right? And based on the gameplay of the characters' interesting abilities unique only to them, it's safe to assume that every Esper's abilities are tied to their own imaginations too, or at least something they could be passionate about, or maybe Chaos just picks random abilities based on your likes and dislikes. The same probably goes for the beast folk, or at least the people with animal-like traits. Now, it's very possible that there are indeed beast folk or a race in this world as it is, but the vast majority of people within the game, or at least that I can see, are humans. And the only things that are not so human are the enemy band factions named Metal, and what seems like a corporate opponent group named Malice, which we'll probably talk about if this video goes well. I hope it does. Now, I'm banking on the fact that the people with animal traits are manifestations of chaos as they become Espers, which I'm going to be calling the Chaos Transformation. Oh boy. And one of the most interesting cases of Esper transformation is this guy, Seymour. Not only does this guy have Hello World on his jacket like every upstart programmer and hacker, but his face has become what is basically an emoji. The simplest answer is that he's just wearing a mask, and honestly, I think he just is. But wouldn't it also be cool for Seymour to actually have Esper transformation traits related to technology? humanity. And that's not the only case. You've got this guy who is completely a robot instead of a man, but he acts like a normal person, which could just be a chaos transformed guy into a robot. And then you've got Count Dracula, who could just be some guy who wanted to be a vampire. And let's not forget Superdad. Yes, there's definitely a possibility that Shark Boy and Lava Girl can be playable Espers and fight against Mr. Electric in this game. This is of course speculation about Espers and Chaos, and it can easily be debunked with another sudden trailer featuring multiple races in the game, as well as explaining Espers and Chaos, but it still doesn't take away the likelihood that Chaos or becoming Espers can change someone's physical traits. Finally, how Chaos anomalies and Espers might be more connected than we think. Up until this point, Espers and Chaos seems a bit harmless and circumstantial on whether it's good or bad. Good anomalies related to Chaos are more in line with this guy and his toilet having legs and becoming a transport vehicle, or maybe even something simple like graffiti art coming to life. But the bad sides of Chaos and Espers is just as weird and varied, or just the general negative aspects of Nova City's reality and fantasy becoming real is also a random case-by-case problem. Within the older trailers, you can also find out about the different levels of Chaos anomalies. Nova City M Cineris anomalies based on literal meaning is likely a ruin level or very destructive Chaos anomaly. The letter M could mean medium level, and pair that with Cineris, then you've got a medium level Cineris threat. This I think is going to be a crucial part of discerning Chaos anomalies within the world. Within the trailers, you've also got missing people who are related to Chaos phenomena, so Chaos doesn't just appear and does its thing. It could be used in conjunction with someone's evil motives or intent. A simple security feature of a car might become a car with chainsaws that can hurt and kill people. Overly passionate gangs that are exposed to this Chaos anomalies can end up as threatening crime organizations. For example, the Malice group that for some reason can transform people into masked goons, the Metal gang that likely also turns people into rock music freaks, or even something simpler like the Swift Wind Biker gang, and even DK9, which is just regular gangs, become much bigger threats when affected by Nova City's Chaos phenomenon. And that doesn't even count the more volatile characters that seem to be very attuned or have an aptitude with Chaos, like Dila, for example. Dila could be a Chaos anomaly that turned into a human. This I think is the farthest example scale that Chaos anomalies can actually get, and that doesn't even include this crater in the moon, which I'm not going to discuss by the way because it's already too much theory. But this is as far as we can get about Espers being connected to Chaos anomalies themselves, and how we can explain the current world of ANANTA through trailers and PVs alone. There's no proof that Espers or people attuned to Chaos are reasons that anomalies can happen, and the only possible proof is this scene here from their oldest PV teaser, which might have just been changed, but considering we have Dila posted as an official character, then the story and lore might not really change as much. So for now, we can assume that there is some form of link between the people becoming Espers and Chaos phenomenon within Nova City itself. Where there is Chaos, there is likely an Esper. Can Espers survive where there is no Chaos? Probably yes, because it seems like our main characters are stationed here from another city. Does Chaos appear wherever there are Espers? Probably not, because Chaos seems to stem from people's minds and fantasies than just Espers themselves. If anything, Espers might have a certain level of control over Chaos compared to a normal person affected by Chaos anomalies. But with that said, I'm gonna stop theorizing for now because this won't even be out until like a year later and the lore might change. But that's basically all of the lore that I could find and make sense of regarding Chaos and Espers within ANANTA. If you guys enjoyed this little lore and theory rant or overcomplication about ANANTA, do tell me in the comments below, and also do let me know if you guys want me to cover any other topics within ANANTA's world too. Maybe each character themselves within the game, or factions that we can find, or some aspect of the game's lore and story that I might not have yet seen. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to know more about the lore and theory within this game, because it is actually quite interesting. The Chaos phenomenon in this game is so far an easily explained thing, and it's not often that we get the main conflict of the game be explained right in front of us. Usually you would have to play through the game so it would be explained in small bits, but ANANTA for some reason announced it right on their webpage. Whether or not I'm right is still something we have to confirm in the future for now, because honestly, this all could just change, alright? Which is why I'm calling this theory and not actual lore. So for now, let's just wait and see if we're actually right or wrong. Now then, I'll see you guys in the next video, yeah? And as always, stay mad theorists. Bye!